Peace, everyone. Peace. Welcome to the revolution. I hope everyone is having a good weekend, having a good Sunday. Thank you to everyone that is tuning in, and thank you to everyone that will watch the replay. So, I am going to get right into what I want to cover for today. And I want to make it known that I am not looking at my chat on purpose, but I will do so towards the end. Um, I would like to leave any questions or any comments um, that is needed for me to address at the end of this presentation. My intentions is to focus on what I need to say, what I need to cover, and then address the questions and the comments at the end, excuse me, just so that I could stay focused. But again, peace to everyone that is coming in. And again, I hope that everyone's weekend was a good weekend. And I kind of hesitate when I say that because of what happened today in Grand Blanc. I would like to extend my condolences to those that endured the gun violence at the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Grand Blanc this morning. That was or is an extremely unfortunate event, and it is very sad. And I just really feel for everyone that is affected by that event. Um, to those people that went to church to pray, to worship, to those that were unfortunately gunned down, that lost their lives, that were injured, to those that witnessed that trauma, to the police officers, the paramedics, the residents in that neighborhood, to everyone in the community of Grand Blanc in Genesee County in the state of Michigan. Everyone everywhere that is feeling the sadness and the pain and the disbelief of that act of violence, my condolences goes out to everyone. The doctors, the hospital staff, everyone. To anyone that is listening, that is going through something on a personal level, that has experienced some recent trauma and grief, hurt feelings, any type of pain, my condolences also goes to you as well. And I wish everyone peace. So I'm going to say that today I was very anxious today. And I know that I can't be the only anxious one because of this event um, in Grand Blanc. And I had got the idea that before I get into the information part of this presentation, that it would be best to decompress the anxiety. And so I just want to take 5 minutes of doing some breathing techniques for myself, because I'm gonna be honest with you, I can I felt it intently, and I actually started feeling it yesterday evening when I went to Quran class at the masjid. but I could not understand why I was paranoid about gun violence. I'm not going to go deep detail about it. I really don't feel comfortable being that transparent about how I felt yesterday evening. I only want to share that with a few people that are close to me. So please don't be offended. But I did feel an intense, overwhelming feeling of being worried about gun violence. And I can't explain it. This has happened to me before in other situations, and then boom, something happens. And I don't know. I'm still striving to overcome this overwhelming feeling because I still feel it strongly. So, if y'all do not mind, I would like to start with the breathing exercise. You do not have to do it, but it is to calm our nerves with whatever we are going through personally, professionally, however we are affected in this moment in this world. Let's just take 5 minutes of doing box breathing. Okay, hold on. Let me go to the next screen. So, box breathing, you know what? I'm going to make it bigger for y'all. So, let me see. Give me one quick second. Let me make the presentation bigger. So, we're going to do box breathing. You breathe in for 4 seconds, hold it 4 seconds, breathe out 4 seconds, hold 4 seconds, and repeat. So we're going to go right now. And I know my presentation I'm about to mess up on me. Now, ain't that something? Okay. All right. So we're going to do something. Now, why won't it play? Okay, that's okay. We're still going to do it. Just give me 1 second, y'all. Because I can't believe I got played like this. One quick second. Okay. So I'm going to have to share my screen. And y'all know I'm still learning. It's all good. I hope everyone is well. Okay, let me share my screen. Okay, there we go. Okay, I hope y'all can see that. And we're going to go now. All right, peace, everyone. I hope y'all can hear me. So, I hope y'all appreciated that box breathing technique. I feel less tense in my neck and my shoulder area where I carry a lot of my stress. I feel a little bit better. And so I just wanted to start that off because the energy is so heavy in the air right now, at least for me. So I wanted to extend that moment of decompression. So this is the first episode of the second season of The Revolution. And I felt the need to reintroduce myself and to set the record straight about a few things because I've gotten a few questions in regards to what is social work, um, about me no longer being on the platform of ATN News Media Group and my plans moving forward if I would still continue going live, etc. So I wanted to cover that, and I felt that that would be the professional thing to do, right? That would be ethical of me to do that. I am typically a very transparent person unless I am directed otherwise, that I need to just keep some information to myself. So I wanted to take this first season, or excuse me, this first episode of me coming back to reintroduce myself to you all. And let's get started with that. So, who am I? I'm Sister Talibah. Um, Many of you may know me. Y'all heard me say my birth name. Typically, when I am advocating at City Council, but my birth name is Allison Montgomery, and my married name is Little John. Allison Montgomery Little John. My Muslim name is Talibah, which means seeker of knowledge or student, and Binta means with God. So, just a little bit about me. Islam has been in my heart since I was in the eighth grade. And before I became Muslim, I joined a Pan African church in Detroit called the Shrine of the Black Madonna. And the Shrine of the Black Madonna had a few chapters across the nation. I don't know how many they have now. I think it may be down to three major ones, the one in Detroit, one in Atlanta, Georgia, and I believe one in either North Carolina or South Carolina. And then one of those Carolinas is where they have acres of land where they, if I'm not mistaken, they farm and they have built houses for their members. So, but let me backtrack. I did grow up in a Pentecostal non denominational church, my great grandmother's church on the west side of Detroit. And so, anyways, like I said, Islam has been in my heart since I was in the eighth grade. And then I kind of got tracked when I was in college, and one of my peers in college who grew up in the Shrine of the Black Madonna, he was murdered. And I began to go to his church just because of the grief and stuff. And I just felt like I needed to go to his church. So I would go to his church every Sunday. And then I had decided to join, but Islam was still in my heart. So I didn't stay long because I eventually became Muslim. But while I was at the church, I was given an African name. Again, this is a Pan African church. So when you join the church, the elders give you an African name. And so I requested the name Talibah because I had been picked that name. This is in my 20s when I had this I'm going back to Africa mentality. I was black this, black that, black, 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 right? So I felt like my birth name, Allison, was too European for me. And I mean, I do like my name. I don't have a beef with it, but it didn't fit my blackety black 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 personality. So I had came across Talibah on my own. So I requested for my first name to be Talibah. And the elders gave me the name Benta. And so that was my name, Talibah Benta. But then shortly thereafter, when I was 27 years old, I became an Orthodox or Sunni Muslim. So I have always been conscious of spirituality as well as I have been conscious of the culture of Black Native Americans because of the family I was born into. I am the only Muslim in my family. Um, I have birthed 6 children and I have 2 bonus children, so there are 8 children altogether. I am a social worker, as everyone knows, and my passion is community advocacy. I am typically an overthinker and I like to look at the root cause of problems. I have a solution based approach and I strongly dislike being stagnant in problems. I don't like recycling complaints and because nothing gets done, right? I oppose hypocrisy. I oppose injustice. I oppose double mindedness. And I really strive to stand firmly on righteousness. Just to let you guys know, I do not wish to call myself a podcaster, though I use podcasting as an extension of social work and healing. What I do is not for likes and views because I feel that is beneath me. I am not in competition with anyone. That is also beneath me. I am literally competing against my lower self. I am competing against the doubts that I am at war with. I compete against any insecurities that I have. I am competing against my ego. I'm not thinking about anyone else. I'm thinking about myself and how I can grow and evolve into a better soul. I do not wish to be like anyone else. I am satisfied with the mission that Allah has assigned me in this temporary life. My current favorite words of wisdom right now is leave alone what does not concern you, also known as mind your business. Um, in regards to my show, The Revolution, I do intend to go live on Sundays at 6 p.m. So obviously today is my first day back. My intentions is for every show to be meaningful and to be a benefit to others and to be therapeutic as well. And I will also continue doing the Talibah's tidbits when inspired. But definitely this show, The Revolution, inshallah, God willing, will continue. And again, it is for whomever the message is for. I don't care if it's one person in the chat, two, three, four, five, however Allah sends my way. If zero is in the chat, I'ma still keep it pushing because the angels are listening. Allah is listening. And that's how I view what I'm doing. I am not in competition with anyone but my lower self. Okay? So that is me in a nutshell. That is who I am. And let's keep it moving to the profession of social work. So, there has been this question like, what is a social worker? Or there's an expectation of me as one social worker in all of Flint, in all of Genesee County, right? So I just wanted to explain what social work, the field of social work is. Um, and honestly, it is a field where you could really be creative, especially nowadays. You can really be creative. You can venture off into something else and still be a social worker. And this is something that I appreciate about this field. And social work for me represents advocacy. That is my passion. Advocacy, speaking out against injustice, speaking out against hypocrisy, speaking out against evil, right? Um, and one other thing that I love to do is when it comes to my clients, my caseload, I really like when I get clients that do not know how to speak for themselves because I have an opportunity to demonstrate how you advocate for yourself and your family against, different entities that may be oppressing them or maybe trying to hold them back from achieving a specific resource. And so social work has theories from a lot of different fields, such as sociology, psychology, child development, psychiatry, political science, Black studies, women's studies, Asian studies, gender studies, behavioral sciences, social sciences, etc. It helps to identify when you have these theories and knowledge, it helps to identify risks and protective factors for clients and populations that we serve. No one, well, let me just say it like this. Not just anyone off the streets could say that they are a social worker. You have to be licensed. You have to go to um, school, universities, college to get a degree in social work. I know there is, I'm trying to think, there is another degree that is similar to social work, but you won't get far in social work if you get this degree. And I think it's called human services. If you are interested in human services, I would advise you not to get that degree. You might as well just go the social work route. Because a lot of people, I've seen this from one of my supervisors, they will not hire someone with a human services degree. So that's just for anyone that is interested in that. I thought I would say that. We operate social workers under a code of ethics. We abide by the National Association of Social Workers Code of Ethics. And the Code of Ethics is a set of values, principles, and standards to regulate our professionalism, to regulate our behavior. And it helps us with making ethical decisions. Um, we also have a lot of organizations, associations, um, to help us stay on track as social workers and to keep us updated on knowledge and information. And the National Association of Social Workers is the largest social worker associations. It's visible in all 50 states. Um, and they help you with being licensed. They help you with staying on track with different policies that are going into effect. A lot of things. It's really cool. And you can actually be a member of National Association of Social Workers. Now, the roles of social workers. You wouldn't believe how many times I have showed up knocking at somebody's door and they think that I am a CPS worker. And I quickly tell them, no, ma'am, I do not want to take your children from you, right? So social workers are not always CPS. We're not looking to take your children away from you. Um, we're not rescuers. We don't meddle. We don't enable. We're not supposed to enable, but that can happen, and that's inappropriate. But we're not supposed to enable our clients. We're not socialists or sociologists, and we're not less qualified than psychologists. The main roles of social workers are brokers, case managers, client advocates, coaches, counselors or clinicians, and evaluators and researchers. And for myself personally, I am more so in the I do case management as well as I advocate and coaching. So all three of those titles are rolled up into one with what I do. Now, um, when we first get a client, from my standpoint, I'm going from me, we get a referral, look it over so we know why we're reaching out to these clients, right? We engage with the clients and we assess their situation because a lot of times their problems or their condition or situations are not always like all of it is on paper. So you have to interact with the clients to get further information. So you assess them. My first social work job it involved detailed assessment because I was a family preservation worker. So I worked with families that had CPS in the home, and them working with me was their last stop before getting their children taken. I hate to say it like that, but they were on the verge of losing their children for whatever reason. So my first meeting with clients, and I mean the meetings would have to be in their home or in a safe space and at least 2 hours per day. Because you had to have at least 10 hours of face to face time per week. And so during that first day, I had to get information about their background, basically their biography. I had to start back to their birth. So my first job really helped me. It really gave me a strong foundation in social work. So I had to start assessing them from birth. When were you born? Who were you born to? Where? What happened in your childhood? Like we had a whole series of questions to ask clients that would really help us piece their life together. And honestly, I'm not knocking that because the more I did it, the more I could see where a problem took root in their life. Oh, so that's why they have this behavior because this happened to them at 7 years old. Okay, you get what I mean? So when you learn about people's biography, about people's life, how they grew up, the culture they grew up in, the type of household, the type of parenting, you see where they struggle emotionally and mentally. And let me say this, y'all, that when I uh, got that job, I had just moved to Flint. I had just got married, moved to Flint. And so Flint, Genesee County, is the only place where I have practiced social work. So when I moved up here, and I'm not even trying to be funny, but I literally used to ask myself, what is in the water? What is in the water? I vividly remember asking myself about the water. And I'm not trying to joke about the water crisis because I don't think it's funny. But before the water crisis hit, now this is back in 2009, I was literally asking myself that because Every single household had a mental, emotional health crisis going on. And maybe because I was, new to a new social worker, but I said, dang, what's really going on up here? And that's not to say that other communities are not having that issue, but because Flint and Genesee County is my stomping grounds for being a social worker, that's just really how I thought. And it's not demeaning or looking down on people, but I was really questioning, why is everyone struggling mentally and emotionally? I didn't get it. So, anyways, so we definitely assess the situation. And even with my current position, it sometimes goes that deep for me. Um, I let my clients take the lead on goal setting. What do you want to see for yourself and your family? What good do you want to accomplish for yourself and your family? And then I'm going to help you get there. I do not take over. That is unethical. You let the client take control of their life. You don't take that from them. Even if their lifestyle is different from yours, that's none of your business, right? You learn to accept that and you work with them. You don't demean them. And so then after the goal setting is set, is done, then you start the intervention process, because now you see what the issues are, what they're trying to get to. Okay, now you got to think, okay, who can I reach out to? Where can I go for this? Where can I go for that? To get them the resources that they need. Um, my job that I have, we're supposed to be short term, but to be honest with you, I don't let go of a client until they tell me to, until they abandon me. They stop answering their phone, they stop responding to my text messages, and they make it clear, I don't want to work with you anymore, or I'm done. Um, I'm fine now, whatever. But I let them also lead that. Um, that's when sometimes I have to transition them to another program, or I'm able to close the referral. And then I don't evaluate my clients. Like I don't I have like management that does the evaluation of how a referral has turned out, if that makes sense, like the data, the results, etc. So again, I typically fall in line of case manager, client advocate, and coach. Because I'm managing a large caseload, I'm advocating for my clients with their permission only. I advocate for them. I always ask for their consent for me to go above and beyond, to contact the landlord, to contact the police, to get legal services involved, to call a school. And you know what? Let me tell you, usually when somebody, an entity that is giving a client a hard time, when I call and say, hi, my name is Allison Littlejohn. I'm a social worker with such and such, and my client is such and such, and they need this and that, and they're having a hard time, then people start getting to acting like they got some sense. Because now they see that this client got somebody on their side. You know what I mean? So I enjoy that because I really dislike to see somebody being done incorrectly. I dislike injustice. Don't mistreat people. Sometimes you have people in this world that they get off being in a superior position, and they get off treating someone in an inferior way. How dare you? So I don't like that. So I like to show up, like to let a person know or an entity know, nah, she got somebody on her side, or he got somebody on her side, and you know what's up. And if I have a hard time getting in touch with somebody on that phone, my pull up game is strong. I don't mind pulling up to a business and then going in introducing myself because I couldn't get a hold of you on the phone. And I keep it professional and peaceful and sweet. Y'all know me. But I'm firm. Like, here, what's going on here? We need to get to the bottom of this. So I love, love, love doing that. Um, you have now let me go back. A broker, that is someone that determines if someone is eligible for resources and links them to services. I sometimes I'm in that role, but not the majority of the time. To me, a broker is somebody that works for DHS, right? Someone like when you apply for food stamps or Medicaid, and they determine if you're eligible or not, and then they get you to the resources that you need. I'm not in that role. I have a more of an interaction and a more of a community interaction in what I do. A counselor, clinician, I almost went that route. I may still go that route, because honestly, there have been so many times where I have had clients that we stay on the phone for at least an hour and they vent. Sometimes people just need a listening ear. They feel unheard. They feel like no one is listening to them, and that's an injustice right there. I'm trying to tell people how I feel, and no one is listening. I'm trying to tell somebody I know what's good for me and my children, but no one is listening. And you don't always have to say or be in a position to say, you know what, so and so, you right, or whatever, because they may not be right or they may not be correct or whatever I'm trying to say. But just the listening alone validates their feelings. That's what I'm trying to get at. Just listening validates that they are human, that they make mistakes, that they are striving to do better, even in the midst of depression, stress, anxiety, in the midst of poverty. They're still striving to do the best that they can, and it goes unnoticed. And they feel like they're drowning, and they just want somebody to listen to them. You know, that's what I go into that role. And again, the evaluator, researcher, I don't do, but that's someone that evaluates um, or assesses the program, right, to see if it's beneficial to the community, etc. I hope I'm explaining this good. If anyone's have any questions as I'm going through these slides, please hold them towards the end. Okay, so this model is is what I see when I work, the Bronfenbrenner's ecological model. And it shows you the individual or the child in the middle. And in some of these ecological models, the very middle of where the individual is the microsystem. That's the household. And then around them, like other family members, peers, sometimes that is called the mesosystem, MESO system. But this one specifically did not include the mesosystem, and that's okay. The microsystem and the mesosystem, it flows in and out. there's really no boundaries to me. So when you look at this, you see, and I like to use this honestly, to show a client their support system, right? And so you see who is in the household, who has direct influence with that person, and then who is around them, the microsystem. Do they have any friends or any family? Who is influencing them? Do they have anyone that is supportive of them? And then the exosystem. Okay, what's going on in the neighborhood, the school system, extended family, work environment? What's going on with the media? What's going on in the news? Again, what's going on in the neighborhood? The macro system. Now, that includes the cultural, the social conditions, the economic system. And I love that this one includes the culture and the history. So, even spiritually speaking, when I look at this, to me, I am seeing where it says individual child. To me, the microsystem, exosystem, and the macro system, that's like auras when I look at it spiritually. What is affecting this person or this household that is on the outside of them? How is their outside community influencing them? This is very important. This model for me, this is my preference. And I'm going to tell you something. It is very helpful for clients to visually see what is affecting them. Because, sometimes, a lot of the times, even for ourselves, it is it's not easy to see. How can I say this? It's not easy to see ourselves because as we're going through life. I hope this makes sense. But when you put it on paper and you map it out, and plus I'm a visual person, and you see and you appreciate more, you have a more understanding of what you're up against, what you need to avoid, what you need to change, etc. I hope you all are understanding what I'm saying. But yes, this shows the levels of the social work practice. Um, in social work, also, like I said, you can venture off into being a counselor. You can venture off into doing many things. Some people get dual degrees with being a social worker and going to law school. I've considered doing that before. You can work in a hospital, hospice. Some go off to be politicians. So it's just a vast thing of things that you could do. Some people venture off if they're a counselor, right? Depending on their license, excuse me, they can do develop their own practice, their private practice. Uh oh. So I'm at the community advocacy part. Um, so that was social work. Let me go back. Um, I hope that made sense to everyone. Like I said, towards the end, please ask all questions, make all comments. So let me address Flint City Council because this is another question that I am being asked when I'm going back. I don't think I'm going back anytime soon, child. I have come to, and I honestly, keep it real with you all. It was a heartbreaking conclusion because I became consumed with Flint City Council. And I mean, how can you not? That energy is off the chain, right? So it sucks you in. And when your heart is good and you have good intentions, you really want to be a part of making a positive difference in a community that has been oppressed for so long. But for me, this is for me, y'all. I have chosen to take a step back. I think it's all a game, and I don't like being played. I don't like my feelings being played with, my emotions being played with. I think it has become a source of entertainment. I don't believe in a bad five. I don't believe in a good four. I think it's wise to judge on an individual basis. I really do. I learned my lesson with that. I see that there is a strong commitment to implementing power and control. And the foundation of witchcraft, domestic violence, and sexual exploitation, which I have seen going into those chambers, the foundation is power and control. To me, some people uphold some of these politicians as idols. And when you do that, that is welcoming in double mindedness, it welcomes in hypocrisy, and it welcomes in insanity. And then there's also a welcoming or a commitment to a culture of lies, slander, exploitation, the selling of your soul for materialism or egotistical gain, which to me is all perversion. And I don't want any parts of that. So for me, it is safer for Sister Talibah to take a step back to the point where I have decided that I don't even need to watch it anymore because the energy that I feel and that I see is just that nasty to me. And nothing is getting done. It's really a recycle of nothingness, which you guys have heard me state this before, right? And I can't stay stagnant. I get frustrated. I feel um, overwhelmed, burnt out. Like I don't like that feeling of being stagnant. I have to keep moving. I have to keep flowing. So for me, and at this time, it is beneficial for Sister Taliba to take a step back and to focus on family, to focus on myself, to focus on my spirituality, to focus on my friends that I consider my family, to focus on the goals that I have for myself and my family. I have a big family. I I'm busy. It's goals that I want my children to accomplish. So this is not me encouraging anyone else to not participate in the advocacy at Flint City Council, but I'm just sharing what I have concluded that is best for myself. So maybe one day I'll pop back up when I am led to, right? But not right now. Not right now. Now, let's talk about the positive of advocacy. And if you all remember, when I did my the first season of the Revolution, and I think it was episode 3, Speaker Truth with guest speaker T from the D. And I went over the energy of the throat or the throat chakra, whatever you're comfortable with, and talked about how is a purification. And when you think about it, that makes sense, right? Your words should purify an environment. It should purify a relationship. It should purify a situation. It's a cleansing. So, the positive impacts of advocacy that I appreciate is that it strengthens your voice, it's a purification of evil, It gives an awareness on the macro and micro levels. It also encourages others to advocate. That is highly important. And what you say is on the record, always on the record. I remember Mr. Eric Mays always saying that it's on the record. It can produce results, it can produce positive results. And advocacy spreads to other spaces where advocacy is needed. You know, the Flint City Council is not the only place where you can go advocate. You can go to the school board meetings, the Genesee County commissioner meetings, etc., the MOP board meetings, whatever. Um, I'm trying to think of some other places, but there are other places where you can advocate and you can express what good is needed in the community. So I really do encourage people, including myself. I'm encouraging myself to maybe find another place, or even what I'm doing now is a form of advocacy for me, right? As I said when I was reintroducing myself, this platform, my personal platform, is is just me. It's just me. And this is an extension of me being a soul. This is an extension of my soul mission. This is an extension of being a social worker. This is an extension of whatever is beneficial and healing that is going to benefit you all. I'm going to use this platform for that. Period. What I say has to be meaningful and beneficial. It has to be. Or else, what is the point? I'm not going to dare come on here and gossip and slander and be negative. I wasn't created for that. And so I won't partake in that. I've gotten nasty before in the chats. No, stop for Allah. But this platform, no. This is an extension of what I'm here to do. So I hope that clears that up. Again, questions and comments at the end. Okay. If is anyone, excuse me, that did not know, because this has also come up in questions to me, there are still some people that are unaware that I'm no longer on the platform of 810 News Media Group. And how do I want to say, resigned, or I chose to no longer be on that platform back, I think it was July 30th. So that is my announcement, the revolution, where I just say that I chose to part ways due to professional and spiritual differences, right? Which we know can happen in business relationships, that's nothing new. Um, so I had to make a decision if I wanted to stay or not. And I definitely considered staying, but it got to a point where I woke up one morning because I thought I was going to stay. And I woke up one morning and my heart was too heavy. And I know that's God. And as a practicing Muslim, who y'all think I'm going to be obedient to and submissive to? I'm going to take heed to what God is telling me to do. And that's what happens in relationships, whether it's business, personal, or other any type of professional relationships. When it is time to exit, it is time to exit. The lesson has been learned. All relationships are temporary. All relationships have an expiration date. Um, and mine happened faster than I expected. And so, really, it came down to um, my value system, my consciousness. And I wanted to play this Surah Al Kafirun, out of the Quran, that explains where I am at, because I had to consult with my husband and my family. You know what I mean about this? Because like I said, I was expecting for me to stay. But if something is bothering me or if I'm feeling uncomfortable about something, then I seek consultation. And I also pray about it. And I know I'm a highly intuitive person. I know when I need to be obedient. So if you all don't mind, I'm gonna have to share my screen again and pull this up, because I don't know. When I put my PowerPoint together, um, all my videos played. I only have 3 videos on here that are very short, right? Um, but for some reason, when I bring it up on the platform, it doesn't want to play, and I gotta investigate into that. So I'm gonna share my screen, and this is very quick, but you can read the words. You're gonna hear the Arabic of the surah, and then he breaks it down in English. So let me share my screen again. And I appreciate you all for being so patient with me. I love you for that. Entire screen. There we go. Hold on, you guys. Okay, I'm sharing. Here we go.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
In the name of Allah, the entirely merciful, the especially merciful.
قل يا أيها الكافرون.
Say, O disbelievers,
لا أعبد ما تعبدون.
I do not worship what you worship,
ولا أنتم عابدون ما أعبد.
nor are you worshippers of what I worship,
ولا أنا عابد ما عبدتم.
nor will I be a worshipper of what you worship,
ولا أنتم عابدون ما أعبد.
nor will you be worshippers of what I worship.
لكم دينكم ولي دين.
For you is your religion, and for me is my religion.
Okay, I'm back. I hope y'all can still see me and hear me just fine. But that is the surah that helped me make the decision when there is an agreement and, or excuse me, a disagreement or a battle of my consciousness and a battle of my values. Is just simply saying, unto you be your way and unto me be mine. That is the basis of that surah. You know, don't get hung up on the words of you have your religion and I have mine. Go deeper. Religion means lifestyle. Religion is talking about your the value system that you uphold. Do you understand what I mean? What affects your consciousness? So for me, I had to make a decision. I came on the platform peacefully and I left in peace. And, alhamdulillah, I'm grateful for the experience that I had. I always said when I used to call in, I've said on more than one occasion that that platform is a gold mine. I always saw the good in that platform. But for me, when it became a test of something that I was uncomfortable with, I had to go with my consciousness. I had to be obedient to Allah. I have to always, because I know as an adult, when you are not obedient to Allah, it don't end well. So I had to choose me. You know what I mean? I had to choose me. But there is no bitterness on my end at all. I am grateful for my time spent on the platform. I'm not angry. I just see this again as the natural flow in life, the natural flow in relationships. Relationships do not last forever. This life is temporary. We won't last forever in this physical form. Nothing lasts forever. Change is the most constant thing in this universe. And so it was just a natural flow for me. Alhamdulillah. I wish A10 News and Media Group the best. I wish them much success. Allahumma ameen. So that's that. Now I think we are at the point of questions and comments, if I'm not mistaken. So let me open up my chat. All right, y'all. I see y'all. All right. Peace to Little Mama. Peace to Taz. Peace to Flint City Limits. Assalamu alaikum, Sister Khadijah. Let me flow back up really quickly. I see Wanda Smith is on here, so I'm going to start at the top. Peace, No Name. Peace, Brandon. Peace to Wanda Smith. Peace to Little Mama. Peace to my good sis T from the D. Y'all know I don't play about T from the D, No Name, or Little Mama, Sister Khadijah, my Muslim sister. Let's see. Are there any questions? T from the D say life is good, blessings on blessings. Thank you for that, No Name. Taking my time, getting things correct. You know what, T? I'm going to master this. I am convinced I'm going to master this. It's hard being the tech producer and host, but you know me, sis. Peace to the beautiful Deborah Luna. Peace to you and happy belated birthday to you. I'm so grateful for you. Okay, you enjoyed the breathing exercise? This reminds me of the Mr. Miyagi breathing exercises. Thank you, little mama. I appreciated the breathing techniques. Girl, the anxiety I felt today, man, I might talk about that. We'll see. T from the D says, congratulations on your second season. Sister Khadijah, peace and perfect love, y'all. Right back at you. Assalamu alaikum, sis. Peace again to Wanda Smith. Miss Deborah, your message has always held weight in my heart and head. That's why I love you, Miss Deborah. You have your heart. You have a heart of gold, honey. You, Deborah Clark, her sister. Um, man, I actually miss seeing y'all in those chambers, but I just can't step up in there right now, honey. Yes, little mama, I'm not in competition with anyone. No, no, ma'am. You know what, little mama? I want all of us to be successful. I want all of us to be at peace. I want all of us to experience perfect love that Sister Khadijah was talking about because we deserve that, in my opinion. That's where we need to vibrate from. Flint city limits. This city crazy, my baby. Okay, let's keep going. T from the D. The good sis is addressing everything, so be ready to ask your questions toward the end. Ooh, we break it down, especially the hypocrisy, double mindedness, slander, and ego tripping. Idol worship. Yes, I can't be a part of that. Damn those willow trees. Definitely a classic. Definitely a classic. Yes, little mama, nothing wrong with being patient. It builds character. My good brother, James Cochran. This brother right here looks out for the sisters. This brother right here has a heart of gold. Whoever raised him, they raised a good, strong man. And I am grateful for Cochran. I like his last name, Cochran, so I call him Cochran. But this brother is a good brother. And he calls it how he sees it as well. And I hope to see him on city council one day, y'all. We need somebody that's young, fresh minded, with a good heart. And I would like to see that for Cochran. Cochran, may you be protected. May you always be protected. I mean, T from the D. Either you're a reason or a season, a lesson or a blessing. I mean, yes, again, happy birthday to Miss Deborah Luna. And yes, nothing but love, Cochran. All right, y'all. So if I don't have any questions, y'all don't have any questions for me, um, and don't have any comments, uh, I think I could just move on ahead to end this live soon. I have one more slide to pull up. I gotta pull up the video, honey. What Miss Deborah say? Casket lipstick couldn't handle your reads. She don't deserve your breath. Who is Casket lipstick? Casket lipstick. Child. Is she talking about Ward 7? Miss Deborah. Oh boy. Thank you, Miss Deborah. Cochran, thank you. We are so grateful for you. You speak for the least of us. Thank you, Cochran. T from the D. I'm looking for your ops that has so many questions about your profession and said you can't provide resources. Laugh out loud. Well, I'm not looking for them, girl. I listen. I'm gonna say this: people are allowed to have whatever opinion they have about me and whomever else, just like I'm allowed to have my opinion about others, right? Um, but you just have to know what you're talking about. So, I mean, either you know what you're talking about or you don't. So, if I want to, if they're comfortable with me being on their mind, then alhamdulillah, I must be doing something right. Because I'm, listen, what did I tell you? My current motto, my current favorite motto is um uh-oh, mind your business, but how do I be saying it? Leave alone what does not concern you. So I don't know why there are people concerned about what I do professionally. I don't know if it might irritate. I don't know, and I don't even care. I mean, I think the lesson of leave alone what does not concern you is to focus on yourself. And if more people focus on themselves, then more people will be happy and at peace with themselves. Usually, when you focus on others, there's something internally going on within you that you're avoiding. There is something going on within your own family structure that you don't want to face, within your own household. That's usually the case. So, I mean, hey, I got too much going on to be focused about what other people doing or not doing. I'm focusing on myself, honey. All right, little mama. Taz, isn't it funny how quiet folks are now? Taz says, and they are clueless. Little mama showing James some love. Little mama, good evening. Okay, talking to little mama. Little mama, ask Sister Talibah, and they don't know your credentials. No, you know, I pray that I'm able to become more um, qualified, skillfully qualified, more knowledgeable as I move forward in my life, as I move forward in my profession. There are some goals that I have as a social worker that I am starting to move forward with obtaining. And so I just pray that Allah guides me and protects me and really guides me to allow my goals to manifest. I won't share them specifically because I don't believe you should share what you have going on. Um, I grew up being taught that you don't share until it's done. So, alhamdulillah. Okay, y'all. So, I don't have any questions being thrown at me or any more comments. So, if you guys don't mind, I'm going to go to my last slide. And again, I apologize because I know, uh-oh, hold on. I know that this video is not going to play. But before I get to that video, you know what? Hold on. Let me pull up that video now. Y'all just be easy with me and let me try to find this video. I hope it comes up quick. And yes, it did. Pull it up on my screen so that I can, when I share my screen, it can be ready. Hold on. There we go. So now with me saying all that I had to say about like plans that I have and moving forward, etc., I am challenging all of you to move forward in greatness as well. Who are you? Do you know who you are on a deep spiritual level? What is your purpose? And how are you spending your time? That time management is key to what you will accomplish during your time here. How are you spending your time? Do you have good time management skills? You won't be able to accomplish anything by scrolling, by gossiping, by slander. You won't be able to do that. So, as I'm moving forward in greatness, I'm praying for everyone else to do the same because we all were sent here to be great, in my opinion. That's something I tell my children every day. And so now I am going to go to the last slide so that we can end this live. I want you all to know that I intend to be back next week, Sunday at 6, with a topic to discuss. I will put a flyer out in regards to it sometime this week, inshallah. And I really hope that you all enjoyed what I had to present. And I hope that everything makes sense. You know what I mean? I hope that you were able to take something beneficial from it. So, with that being said, Asada Shakur, as many of us have heard, this revolutionary sister is now an ancestor. She transitioned on September 25th at the age of 78 in Cuba. And Asada Shakur was born Joanne Deborah Byron. She became a powerful activist against the oppression of the Black American community. She was a member of the Black Panther Party and Black Liberation Army. Assata Shakur was convicted of murder of a New Jersey state trooper and somehow escaped prison in 1979. In her autobiography, which I encourage everyone to read, it's called Assata, an Autobiography. She talks about her grandmother having a dream about her escape. Alhamdulillah, Assata Shakur was granted political asylum in Cuba and was under the protection of Fidel Castro, a revolutionary and former president of Cuba. In 1998, Assata Shakur was added to the FBI's most wanted terrorist list, and there was a $2 million bounty in effect for her capture. All praises are due to Allah, Alhamdulillah, for the protection of Assata Shakur. Assata Shakur transitioned from this life at the age of 78 on September 25th, 2025. Inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un. Indeed, we belong to Allah, and indeed to Him we will return.
I want to live in a country where freedom means I think that the only way that we're going to realize freedom, justice, equality, decent living for people is if there's a complete change. A complete change. Everything has got to be turned around, and that's a revolution, a complete change. I want.
Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for being in the chat. Thank y'all for being engaged. Thank you all for accepting me. Thank you all for listening. I pray it was a benefit. Thank you to all those that will listen to the replay. I am on Facebook, YouTube, and Rumble. And I just pray that you all will continue to listen and to support and to get the benefit of my words. I love you all. May we have a peaceful and a safe week ahead of us. I mean, peace, y'all.